bottom half is where we find managerless Leeds United sitting there in 16th, and that is why he has been fired, because they are just 2 points above the bottom three. And crucially, if you look at Everton and Burnley, they've got 2 games in hand on Leeds, and Leeds sitting right now just 2 points clear of the danger zone. Good morning. Welcome along to Premier League Live. I'm Rebecca Lowe, Tim Howard, Robbie Earle alongside me this morning. We are going to get to the situation developing at Chelsea Football Club shortly, because there's more coming out of that club today, the day that Chelsea, of course, play the League Cup final against Liverpool a little bit later on. But we start with the firing of Marcelo Bielsa, which took place about 2 hours ago. And it was interesting, Tim, because yesterday after the Tottenham game, the reports emerged very quickly that this was going to happen. The chairman saying it was a really difficult decision. There'll be some Leeds fans who won't be happy, but for you, was it the right choice? And I believe the chairman when he says it was a difficult decision. Marcelo Bielsa took over at Leeds, and he was a breath of fresh air. The style that he played brought them up after being out of the Premier League for so long. And so he transcends the game a little bit. He's a hero to that city and to that football club. But the way that they were playing, that everybody loved, certainly Leeds fans loved, and neutral supporters, it became their demise. So yes, they were losing football matches and they were down near the bottom and nobody wants to get relegated, but it was a fashion in which they were losing. They weren't even competing anymore. And if nothing changes, nothing will change. And so Bielsa stuck by it. I'm going to play this way. And I think ultimately when the ownership looks at that and thinks, if he could change and maybe tweak something, fine, but he's not, and these results aren't good enough. And so it's disappointing, because I think the way Leeds were playing was fantastic, but you have to stay in the Premier League. Every team has to stay in the Premier League. That's the bottom line. There's no loyalty in football. Not really. Not when push comes to shove. It's a business.
There isn't, but this is as close as it goes, Rebecca. Hero status, as Tim said. Not often you lose 4-0 as you did yesterday, people clap you off. Not often do I read on blogs that Leeds fans saying, if I'd rather go down with Bielsa than not. He did so much for this football club. But it was a case for the ownership of going, do we cross our fingers between now and the end of the season and hope this guy can get us 17th, or do we have to make a move? And when you think of the ownership group, they've invested a lot of money. They've got investment from the San Francisco 49ers, which is part of this football club growing. There's talk about they want to get European football back into Ellen Road, not Championship football. And because of that, because of the results, because of the way that goals were getting in, I think a big decision had to be made, and that's why it's no surprise.
Another big decision is going to be made tomorrow. They're going to announce his successor, and it looks like it's going to be the American Jesse Marsch, who has very much come through the Red Bull system. New York Red Bulls, Salzburg, Leipzig. How do you think that will sit at Leeds? Well, I think when you look at Jesse Marsch, if the rumours are to be believed, it's a really good hire. Here's why. The way that he plays, and we know that Ralph Rangnick is doing that at Manchester United, 4-2-2-2. It's all about high tempo, pressing, recover the ball. Well, this is a ready-made team for that, because the players are already committed to pressing, already committed to running their socks off and recovering the ball. They just need some defensive stability, and Jesse Marsch can bring that. Rob?
It's interesting. So to Tim's point, who knows Jesse Marsch well, Leeds looks like the perfect fit. What I do hope, Rebecca, is that his nationality doesn't go against him, that he's an American coming into the Premier League. This guy's worked at the highest level of club football in Europe, has got a good CV and deserves his opportunity. I'm sure the Leeds fans will be disappointed Bielsa's gone, but will get behind Jesse Marsch.
We'll get confirmation of the new Leeds United manager tomorrow. Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch highlights all season long, and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend at 7 a.m. Eastern. And for even more content, head over to Peacock, where we've got live games, original series and a dedicated round-the-clock Premier League channel featuring studio shows, classic matches and much more.